You are about to receive messages that may be harmful to your mental state. Your sense of reality will be questioned. Your view on things will be altered. You are now part of the Meta. The Meta controls everything. The Meta determines what will and will not happen. You are watching The Meta Show.
And we're live! This is excellent. It also looks like the top of my head is cut off. Am I gonna have to, like...
Oh, I got it.
Oh my.
You are sitting up
Things
higher
are
all of a
happening.
sudden.
There we are. I'm sitting up straight as opposed to, like, slouching into the back of my seat.
Yeah, there we go. That works. That's much better.
Oh, we got all these new graphics.
So high.
Everything is pretty cool. Yeah, we had these last week, but it's still pretty neat to see how things are going.
Yeah, it's the neat thing about this graphic too is it's a browser thingy where it automatically updates all of the subscribers and stuff. I don't have to have text files. I don't have to do any other like opening. It's all server side. It's amazing.
Today's gonna be one big GoFundMe joke. I'm actually on my own personal, like, I made a random Twitch account so I can talk separately from Imperium News. So the Mittani Actual.
Oh, I need to do that. I need to do that one day. But the problem is like it's so easy to adjust things or ban people when you have the INN thing. So, yeah, we're gonna jump right into it.
That's true. I should probably log back in so I can ban.
Oh,
people.
I've got it. I can ban people. Just tell me to hit the button. I got it. I always have it logged in, so it's easy. But yeah, some new things coming out. We're gonna go for a little monologue here. I personally hit a goal this week. I want to do a little bit of a brag about this. I hit 350 pounds on bench press this week, and I just yeah. That's for those of you that don't know. That's a lot. 10% of the world can do that. So the goal is to get to the 5%, which is 400. But I wanted to share that because goddamn, that's amazing.
And not the 1% of the 1%. I'm disappointed.
Oh, that's a CCP joke for those who don't get that. But yeah, so the goal is to hit 400 pounds by December, so I want to talk about that. And then also, CCP has invited several INN streamers to come to their official CCP Twitch channel, which is, I think, CCP Games is their Twitch channel, to stream once a week. Dates and times haven't been confirmed yet. But basically the rules are we can do whatever we want in EVE as long as we don't break the EULA or break Twitch things. So yeah, I'm excited about this. It sounds like hilarity is going to ensue really soon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting a lot of resubs. Also, that's another thing about actually being on the proper account is that I can see when people are subscribing and resubscribing. So, Skeptic is
there's
9 months in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, we have Real Cineris for 15 months and Indie Section 8 with Twitch Prime Basis Bucks. Yeah, pretty cool.
Scooter
All
McCabe
right.
I don't see very many Black Eagles though.
Yeah, we need more Black Eagles. Good point.
Sure, we need to throw up some shit in chat.
Yeah, so Skeptic Nerd Guy just hit 29 months and a good to be back-ish. Yes, sir, it's good to have you back. Hello, Mr. Nerd Guy. And then Anominate, 24 months. Speaking of Anominate, I just found this out, and I want to go ahead and share this with the show.
And Rishon, 29, goddamn.
We might be getting a weekly guest segment with Anominate on the Meta Show. Anominate, for those who don't know, is a wonderful CSM member. And we just talked recently about possibly getting him on the show more often, so that'd be really cool. I'm excited.
Are the sounds too loud? Actually, we're getting some comments here that the sub sounds. Well, what we hear and what our viewers hear are two different things. So I'm asking the guys, if the sounds are too loud. So yeah, we have an interesting pile of drama to talk about today. We have monthly economic report came out, of course, since the last show, and we talked about a lot of differential. I don't know. We didn't discuss it last show, did we? But we talked about it on Firesides and things, like predictions about how the MER would go down.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it here because it hadn't came out yet. It just came out a couple days ago, so we missed it last week. But it did come out, and it's hilarity. It's a pile of hilarity. Also coming up soon, which again this happens Tuesday, is Patch Day. So we're gonna go into that. The official patch notes are out. That'll be our top story today. We are also going to talk about something that happened in Pandemic Horde space, which was kind of hilarious with Snuffbox and Pandemic Horde. Providence is still on fire, even though it hasn't officially, it hasn't officially gone on fire from everyone trying to claim trophies. They lost another big object, and we're going to talk about what that is. Plex prices keep climbing. They've hit 1.5 bill. and are skyrocketing, and people are like screaming from the hilltops. A small fight in Amencia took place with FCON, and then we'll laugh at the Mighty Nerfs some more at the end, because images make the best kind of laughter. But yeah, that's where we're at.
I'm trying to get the sub-notification noises. Apparently, Boat, it's on your end, and you can turn the individual source for the sub-sound down. It's currently at 30%. So you have the power to make the sub-noises less loud. Power's in your hands.
I'm looking
says
for that.
Shifter.
Looking for that power now. I don't see that.
You can turn the individual source down. Well, so Boat is going to mess with that, and I will run my mouth.
Mess that. Well, hold on. We'll click the button so you can then run your mouth a lot more. So we go to our top story today, which is Patch Day's coming. Yeah, so real quick, we missed this one. Jay Amazingness. Not Jay Amazingness, sorry. Sadist, 29 months. Woo! We have like 4 people at 29 months now. It's crazy. Thank you for
that. It is pretty serious.
Yeah, so go ahead and run your mouth while I fix this.
Okay. So we have patch dates coming. It's going to be the whole T3 rebalance, which is something that we have been talking about at length last week on the Meta Show. And actually, when it comes to this being our top story, I don't really have much to say about this, which is funny because Boat now has to go fishing for figuring out all these things. I'm going to throw this over to Moon. Do you have any opinions? Well, you're not supposed to say anything. You're supposed to fix the fucking sub notifications.
I'm working on it.
But it's like, I'm going to go do this thing and not talk for a bit. Oh my god, I can't not talk. Moomin, please tell us what you think. What do you think is going to be the impact of the T3C changes that we were talking about last week?
Oh, well, I think that we're going to have like fun and games there. I mean, obviously, it's looking like the Proteus and also the Tengu are going to be the ones that really get hit here. But that's understandable because they would mean, obviously a very good place for a very long time. It looks like the Loki, I think it is going to be the best out of the bunch going forward. But, as always, it's going to be how the rest of EVE actually adapts to all of this. I mean, we're seeing some resurgence of like some fleet compositions that we haven't seen for ages. Rumor has it, I've even seen Drake fleets milling around a little bit. If it's
yes, you might be able to bring your Drake, right?
Yeah, I mean they could become a valid thing. I think it was a little bit kind of eager at the moment because the HML changes haven't necessarily come into play, and I think that's kind of the tipping point for the Drakes to actually become more viable. But the fact that people are even thinking about it and exploring about it, we're seeing a lot more T1 holes, Tempest, Maelstroms, all of that stuff is like coming out of the woodwork. And I really like it. It's like, I look at all of that as a good thing.
It's been way too long since we really saw any kind of shift in the nullsec fleet meta. I mean, it's been yachts, but I mean, T3s have been a standard thing for years and years and years and years and years, and they've never really gone away or changed that much. The only changes in T3s in the past was whether you were using Tengus with various flavors of missiles or Railgus, or then later shifting to a armor T3 meta, which is just been forever.
I mean, it's like they've been in such a strong place. I think it was the Tengus first used by PL, where they were just absolutely insane with what they were doing against the actual competition. And that's something that we've seen in one form or another pretty well much ever since. You can get them from one side of EVE to the other relatively easily using wormholes. I mean, they're a great ship, there's like no doubt about it, but being so good, so strong, and for as long as they have been, it hasn't helped with like variety. And variety, it's the spice of life. So I think the last time that we really saw changes that affected this part of the game as much was probably with the Wrecking Ball like stuff. So when we got rid of the dummies and that side of stuff.
Well, speaking of variety being the spice of life, I see that Jay Amazingness has abruptly deigned to grace us with his presence here in Discord. Jay, do you want to say hello?
Hello. Boat invited me on, but I was outside in the garden, so.
That's excellent. We went from having no guests today because our guest dropped out abruptly into having two. So that's excellent.
Sorry, hold on a second. I just want to clarify. Sorry, what were you doing in the garden?
I was watering the plants, man. I gotta keep my.
That's not a euphemism at all, is it?
No, of course not.
Well, yeah, okay.
I wish I can garden, but I have a round thumb. It doesn't work. I can't garden. But that's amazing. Welcome.
Hello.
I think I fixed the audio. We'll see. They're messy.
We'll see if somebody subscribes at throw some money at the screen.
Throw money at the screen so we can see how loud it is. Great idea.
Let's see. I mean, there's other changes that are happening this patch. I mean, there's new Rupture models, which I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about them.
They're weird looking. Like, I don't know, man. The Broadsword Mutant and Ruptures looked fine the way they were, and now they're adjusting them, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm normally zoomed out too much. I mean, we've got some people over on INN that do lots of artwork, in-game stuff. So I look forward to seeing some of the pictures that they take, because some of those are very kind of nice.
Yeah. And then I don't know, man. These T3 changes, I've been a fan of them all week, but I do want to take a notice on it. We've been talking about this here in Goons, but we have not been talking about this in on the meta show, so this is a chance to show it. If you use a T3, or in my case have stockpiles of like 50 or 60 of them, it's really, really important that you have your covert subsystem and your warfare subsystem fit patch day. Otherwise, they turn to shit. Because CCP isn't looking to change covert to covert. They're looking to change offensive to the closest offensive and defensive to the closest defensive. And since a covert subsystem currently is offensive and going to defensive, you will lose the ability to be a covert mod if it's not fitted to a ship. So I had to go through and fit like 30, 40, 50 ships with them yesterday, which is hilarious. So there's that.
Well, that happened. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the whole T3C thing is really, and this is something that you were extremely excited about.
Oh, I am beyond excited. I even looked at it during my show on Wednesday. Oh my god, so good. Every single T3 cruiser can have 1,000 DPS. And one of them never has the dock because it has unlimited ammo in the form of laser beams. So, it is...
How many bombs does it take to kill one?
18, 19 bombs now? Oh, so good.
You see where I'm going with that one.
Yes. Speaking of bombs, I will be talking about those a little later in the show. But yeah, so those changes are here. But other little small changes in this patch that a lot of people didn't pay attention to. But of course, us here at the Meta Show did. Corp offices in Upwell structures are now impounded properly, like they were supposed to be, as they are in stations. So if you dock in a station that you own and somebody kicks you out of that station, they can lock you out of your stuff. And then it becomes impounded, and then you can get it later by redocking and getting a new office, and then getting out of impound. Upwell structures didn't have that until this patch, so they have that now. And also, they are finally fixing the split stack option on Upwell structures, which is the issue in the past was if you at the dock at a station, you split up bombs. So I had 1,000 bombs. I wanted to split stacks so I could split them all over the place. You couldn't do that in Citadels. So when Bomber-Off deployed, it was a train wreck. So they fixed that too.
So speaking of train wrecks, this is a subtle segue. CCP also came out with a development update, and I'd like to ask Jay about this. So Seagull got on, talked about other things. Apparently there's going to be a dedicated balance team. What do you think about this, Jay?
It's pretty good. It shows that they're listening to a lot of the people that have been, crying like babies on Reddit. Whether that's a good thing or bad thing is yet to, what is yet to come. But they said they're going to look at Citadel bombs, which is the most important thing at the minute, I think, because it's just a simple fix they can make. However, I don't know. How they do it could be bad. They're not great at the minute, and they're really, really overpowered. But they could make it so they're totally useless, especially with the larger structures like Keepstars and Satoyos.
What do you think this video is an indication of from CCP, like beyond just what they're talking about there? Like, are you seeing this as a pivot, a sea change, or is this what do you think we should expect more of?
think it's a pivot, definitely, in the way that they're going to start communicating with the community more. It's like if you're losing a war and the CEO posts an update, like reassuring his boys. It's like that. It feels a lot like that.
Okay, that's a bit more blood in the context, which is good. As I was looking for some real talk there, and
I'll be honest, it looked like Siegel was about to cry in the whole video. I don't know if it was she's trying her best to fix a sinking ship or what, but you could just see in the video as she's talking about this new dedicated developer balance thing. Didn't they have a team that was all about balance, and that's why they got hired with like Rise and Fozzie? Like, weren't they originally hired because of doing balances?
Well, they were brought on as, I think, just game developers. I think that there was at one point a dedicated balance team in the Dark Ages back around the aftermath of the Incarna riots, where there was like I think there was at one point a balance team.
And that's what they because they did the balance team back then because they were talking about wanting to do like monthly balance changes. Like every month we're going to do a small little patch, and that's going to include some balance fixes and little minor things here and there. And that's when Terracide started, and they started looking at fixing modules or Terracide, however you want to call it. And then it just vanished, and now it's coming back, which should be really good.
Robin Hood had subbed with Twitch Prime just a few minutes ago. I'm wondering if the audio is still excruciatingly loud for folks, or
we dropped it down to 20%, but now apparently it might be related to something that I don't have.
So in chat, if folks can say something, okay, it's fine. The audio is good now, so keep it at 20%, and we're good. Excellent, thank you. So yeah, I don't know. It's just curious. Like we have this patch doesn't excite me. Like okay, great. They've got T3 Cruiser rebalance. That is good. This is something that should happen years ago. The Rupture model is kind of eh. At least they're trying to communicate with the player base a little bit better. I don't know. Maybe I just need to,
Okay, so in less than 100 words then, Mittens, what would you have liked to have seen in this patch?
I would have liked to see the soft system get fixed. People in EVE want to go to war in Nullsec. Nullsec drives the narrative of the game, whether people who are outside of Nullsec like that fact or not. That is the simple reality. And we've all been waiting for FozzieSov to be replaced with something that doesn't blow ass.
Okay, well, we might have, I don't know, potentially something to talk about a little bit later on about that, but I want to get back to the video because I personally...
Yeah, Moomin, what do you think about it?
Well, I saw it as a very interesting development from the marketing side of CCP. I think that it was very well thought out, put together, and also executed. Seagull didn't look like she was going to cry to me. It's like, but maybe Boat has seen more women in distress than I have.
Wow.
I just think that it's a good thing. Whether or not it's just like a PR thing and they're just looking to like rein in some of the criticisms that they've got of late, only time will tell, really. But I think that they do recognise that we, as the kind of customer base, do have a voice, and it should be listened to. And when they have any CCP employee actually speaking, it's always going to be on the behalf of the company in its own right. So they possibly need to make sure that they don't get carried away.
Yeah, I like this too because her video again.
I don't know, Jay.
Oh, sorry.
Is this related to what I'd like to see in the update? Is that the question?
I assume you were paying attention.
To what I
was saying.
Oh no, he never listens to me.
Have I been muted this whole time?
Yeah.
Holy shit! I've been talking into the stream, but apparently my microphone has been muted as I try to talk to all of you. Like the stream could hear me, but none of you guys on Discord.
I was wondering why Moomin was speaking without interruption.
Oh fuck!
And now we know.
So was Moomin.
So sorry. No, I was gonna say that if you look at this video, it's a really good video in the sense that the things they talk about, they point out. So besides the balance thing, which I think is hilarious, the ability to search for unknown planets, I think that's really freaking cool. Exoplanets. I got to watch a cool documentary about that, so I think that's really neat. The storyline event's going to be interesting because people that actually do those are not going to get Plex. I think the one storyline picture they showed had like 300 Plex. So that's almost a month worth of game time if you do the event. And another place you see those pretty commonly, events like that, are on Korean grind games. Like free-to-play grind games will do like every time you log in each day, you click a button and you get a thing. And so that seems interesting. And also she talked about the Alliance tournament, which starts in end of July. Which is going to be cool because the winning team gets these new stealth bombers that look really hilariously broken and are worth $100 billion-esque.
I'm curious what people in chat think about the new Rupture models. Like if maybe it's just me being whiny about not particularly liking them. But
actually, I'm going to pull them up on stream here in a minute. I'm getting on the test server.
Every whole redesign is terrible unless they redesign the faction super capitals. I'm not paying 280 bill for a ship that has the Erebus model.
That's a very valid point.
It's weird for me because like I almost always love the redesigns. Like they're very exciting. Like I think that the Bellicose hull is still like one of the ugliest things that has ever been accused of being a spaceship before. But normally I see a redesign, I'm like, oh my god, this looks so cool. And this is I think the first time that I've ever seen a ship redesign. And I looked at the gun like,
The Falcon was one of the best ones they redesigned. A lot of people hated it. I loved it because you got moving parts. That and when they made the Scorpion symmetric, and the Crow symmetric.
The Slasher is still the best looking ship in the game, and best performing as well.
That's an interesting thing. So I saw something on Reddit recently. What's the worst looking ship in EVE? And I wanted to get your all's opinion on this one because
everything with a Bellicose.
My worst looking ship in EVE is the Aeon because it literally looks like an airport tarmac like runway with a fence on the side.
That's a fighting with,
yeah, it just looks like a giant fence on the side with a fucking runway. That's all it is.
Yeah, the Bellicose hulls basically look like they mashed some like sticks together. It was like a child was playing with some toothpicks or Q-tips and was like, you know, because the cockpit of the Bellicose, like all those things, is like this long proboscis that looks like it's got a fucking. It looks like something you'd use to clean out your ears, basically.
Oh my god, this is ugly as fuck. Holy shit! So we're gonna show this on stream in a second, but this new broadsword looks so fucking ugly. What the fuck?
I really just don't know what happened there. Like when they redesigned the Tempest, it was absolutely amazing. They redesigned basically everything. It's always been amazing. And then all these Rupture variants come out, and I'm just like, ooh, what?
Do you think it's a little bit kind of weird though that you see redesigns of ships that, you know, realistically have perfectly good and functional models most of the time? So, you know, does it kind of sound a little bit like a kind of an art function within the company that's just scratching around for work to do?
Yeah, I don't really know why. Also, by the way, guys, if you're not using Twitch chat in dark mode, we have uploaded some new subscriber badges, and so we've got new art for that. But currently, we're working on the contrast. If it's in dark mode, it displays perfectly. But if you are in non-dark chat mode, the sub badges don't really turn up yet. So if you're wondering where they are and what these squiggles are, they're variants on the INM logo.
You know what this looks like? So we got it up on stream right now. I don't know if you guys ever were kids and knew about this, but if you remember the Nerf disc guns.
I was never a child.
Okay, so when I was a young kid, they came out with this new Nerf thing, which is a giant like disc shooter. And if you look at this link in the chat here, this is exactly what it looks like. One of those Nerf disc shooters. So you get like the loader
into the broadsword.
Yeah, like the loader in the back here, and then like where it comes out the front, it looks like that's where like the front of it is. And I just linked it, and it's like, holy shit!
It does look like a disc shooter.
Yeah, you see that?
The disc goes in the back, and then it shoots out the front. I wasn't, until you mentioned that.
It's got like a pistol grip.
Some of them, it looked like a nail gun, or in this case, it looks like a staple gun. Basically.
Yes, a nail gun.
The Rupture looks more like a nail gun, and the broadsword now looks like a staple gun. That's why it's got those like flanges on the front for you to like ka-chunk some staples into things whenever you want to staple something in space. Like,
I cannot see this now. This is ridiculous.
Camouflage on spaceships is one thing. I mean, that's pretty bad.
Oh, you're right. It does look like a staple gun.
It looks like a fucking staple gun. Like,
what the fuck?
Oh
Lord, this is amazing. I'm gonna have so much fun making fun of this on my show because I fly a broadsword.
This is like the first time in history I've ever like complained about anything that the art department in EVE Online has ever done. Because normally
I mean, auto cannons are
so
shit,
wonderful.
but I didn't think they were gonna go this far.
They should just ask
soldering iron.
Like every couple months they should just post a thread like, hey, what
hey
guys,
do
you guys want
what
redesigned?
do you want to fix next? Yeah,
vote
exactly.
in this thread. Yeah, that would be a lot easier than just redesigning random shit.
Chat has this correct. The new thing looks like one of those electronic soldering irons you could get, like the gun version. That's exactly what it looks like. If you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, no, I do.
We're gonna get an image for everyone right here because
get an image and put it up on
yes,
screen.
my dad has one. My father owns one.
This is like with the Nestor. The Nestor is an example of a ship that I think looks sort of silly. The Nestor looks like a hand blender. Like, you know, you can get a blender that's not like a full-blown smoothie blender, but like an actual blender that you stick in a fucking milkshake. And once you see it as a blender, you can never unsee.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can get the image to come up, but I can't at the moment. But yeah, it reminds me of my dad has one of the old ones from like the 1980s, and it's exactly what this looks like. Oh my lord. Anyway, so we got, that's just, I don't know where CCP went with that. I didn't even think of that. I didn't think it'd be this bad. Like, I didn't look at it because I knew it was coming.
I really don't want to be crapping on the art department because it is really, like, I think that Jay really does bring up an interesting point, is that, like, you know, if they're interested in responding to player feedback in a healthy way, like, if the players on the whole are like, we want these ships in priority order for, you know, we want to see this ship unfucked, as opposed to, I've never heard anybody complain about how the Rupture looks. Holy crap, Bode. That is...
It's literally a space soldering iron!
Wow.
It's even if you look at the tip of it, too. Wow. It's got that little tip sticking out like a soldering iron does, you know?
That's amazing.
This is so good!
Okay, I got nothing. We gotta move on from this. And,
yes, we do actually.
Talk about the Dulcic Power Hour. We're gonna talk about the monthly economic report after we get on the other side.
Yeah, real quick, some shout outs. We had a few people throw a lot of bits at the screen. The problem is bits don't pop up long enough to like notice it. But we did have 500 bits donated, which is $5, and he says, "Here's a test." So thanks for that. That was really cool. Also,
testing to see how
the Gayu commissar is from, I believe, Test Alliance. He always pops in the boat show whenever we go in their space and like shit on them. So.
Oh, poor baby.
Poor guy. Okay, monthly economic report where we get to mock. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Okay, so yeah, as Corns is saying here, monthly economic report is still an advertisement for Goodstorm Federation. So, Boat has linked it, and here is the scenario. We talked about this a couple months ago on, actually, a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure whether we talked about it on the Meta Show, but we definitely talked about it at length at the Fireside. Like when it was the whole like Summer of Rage fake Reddit bullshit. You know, people were concerned about repeated nerfs to mining that were announced to Rorquals and to anomaly respawns and all this other sort of stuff. So if you caught the Fireside earlier, you've already heard this rant, and it'll be old news. But the monthly economic report has come out, and the reason why this is so important, I believe, is that it has proven in the data something that we have said on the Meta Show about a number of topics over the years. The idea of differential impact of nerfs and how they create a relative power gap, so how certain nerfs actually count as buffs depending upon how players are organized. So we believe, because we are not completely unaware of social graces or unable to predict common things, that CZB keeps nerfing mining and Rorquals and anomalies because they see how much economic activity is taking place in Delve and Aquarius. And so month after month, there have been new nerfs to mining. And now we finally see the data from that. We warned everybody, we warned CCP, we've talked about it on the Meta Show before. Again, it's the bodybuilder analogy. You give a guy who's a power boat bench presses 350 pounds, right? If I tell Boat, hey, Boat, I'm going to put another, well, I don't know, adding another 100 pounds on top of 350 is a lot. But basically, Boat can lift 350 pounds.
I added another 10, it didn't go anywhere. Let's put it that way.
If he's normally bench pressing 200 pounds, And he's like, well, it's 200 pounds. Like, it's not my personal record, but like, this is my working weight. And then I'm like, hey, Boat, I'm gonna put another 50 pounds on this. And you're like, okay, well, I'm lifting 250 pounds. Like, this is a pain in the ass, but whatever. But if you're going to somebody who's never lifted before and you're increasing their weight by that same amount, then suddenly they're like, my God, I can't move the bar.
It's a great analogy.
I'm getting crushed, right? So this data proves it. So here's the numbers for our viewers who are.
I like that chat.
Yeah, so check this out. Tuzzy and some of the dudes in GSOL had posted charts to like better visualize this shit. So in this monthly economic report, the amount of production in Delve and Quirius, i.e. Imperium space, after these nerfs went down by 1%. 1%, right?
Yeah.
But on average, across nullsec, for all of the other regions in nullsec, on average, mining production went down by 11%. 11%.
Yep.
Which means that CCP, by nerfing mining by 11% across the galaxy, except for Delve and Quirius, which only went down by 1%, is that functionally speaking, this ham-handed attempt at a nerf. They wanted to nerf the Imperium. They could potentially ask our CSMs how our economic system is set up, but they don't listen to us, apparently, because we would only be saying things to make us more powerful. They buffed us by 10%. If everybody else in the galaxy goes down 11%, and the Imperium only goes down by 1% because EVE is a competitive game, that means that we have 10% up over our competition that we didn't have in the previous monthly economic report. This is the most clear depiction in the data of what we've been saying on the Meta Show forever about relative power differentials and how organization results in nerfs being differentially applied to different organizations. If you're not organized, this kind of shit is going to obliterate you. If you're highly organized, it's a pain in the ass, but whatever. 1%. Moomin, actually, Jay, because we'll hear Moomin's silky voice in a moment. Jay, what do you think about all this? You are a super capital producer. You are someone who uses rogue quals. How did this impact life in Delve, and how has it impacted the rest of the galaxy? What do you think?
Across the rest of the galaxy, prices in Jeddah for some of the minerals have gone up, but no one who builds supercaps is buying minerals in Jeddah, so it doesn't really affect the way I produce. Prices went up a little bit, I guess, the cost to produce things, but not too much, I think 2 or 3 bill, and it's already going down again, so it really hasn't. It goes up and it fluctuates a little bit, like a couple months before and after the nerf, but overall it doesn't really affect the price in which it costs to build supercaps.
Moomin, what do you think?
This is, again, it's a very kind of like interesting point for me. If you search on the internet for the hardest MMOs like to play, every list comes up with EVE at some point. It's a hard game to play. It attracts a very sort of generally a person with a certain set of character types, shall we say. And we generally are not a stupid bunch. And I think that CCP does generally tend to forget that at points. And they do things, and it's not that they're like stupid people themselves, far from it. But it's a case of, there is sometimes something to be said for the collective wisdom of like players. And you're absolutely right. I mean, we've got a buff effectively again, and I'm surprised that we haven't had Gevlin Goblin, whatever his name is. I'm surprised he hasn't turned up again, like saying that this is all a conspiracy and it's actually CCP like stealth buffing the Imperium again.
I mean, we don't even want buffs. Like, we want the facade system to be fixed so we can go to war and play EVE the way it was meant to be played, which is a war game, for fuck's sake.
This is even funnier, too. When you look at one of the comments here, it says Delve's now the 3rd largest region in terms of trade value. That's a first in EVE history. We've been close to breaking Dodixie, but we've never surpassed it. So the big 4 are Dodixie, Renz, Jeddah, and Amar. But we have finally surpassed Dodixie. For those that don't remember, Dodixie is a major level 4 mission hub. That's why it's such a big market, and we were always 5th, so now we are 4th. Every region we've been into, we've always had a system that's like 4th, 5th, 6th.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, you look at the chart, and it's you know, you look at what we're doing in Delve and Quirius compared to everywhere else, and, you know, it's glorious, but equally it's disgustingly concerning at the same time as well.
I don't think it's concerning, though, right? I think it's glorious in the sense that, as someone pointed out, Goons have taken the game and played it the best that it's physically possible. It's like the bodybuilder analogy. Goons are literally the bodybuilders of EVE. They've pushed their bodies to the peak performance. We're winning Mr. Olympia month after month with these economic reports. Because you think about Mr. Olympia, he's the biggest, best looking person physique-wise on the face of the planet every year. And then you look at the rest of EVE, and they're not winning.
No, I take umbrage with that. I think you'll find that's me, boat. Is like I play EVE the same way that I treat my body.
But if you look at it, like even our enemies are saying, like, look at Goons. They're doing everything that CCP, like, rule-wise puts in front of them to, like, change the game, to nerf them. And they're still pushing the numbers far past what should be possible. Right? It's just ridiculous just how Delve is. Yeah, maybe it's ridiculous, but it's not breaking the game. It's not like we're cheating to do this. There's been places like Dirty Casino Money that have generated money out of thin air in order to achieve these levels. So this is
Noisy Gamer
glorious.
is pointing out in chat that Gevlon has turned up, but in the comment section of Noisy Gamer's blog, where he's saying that there is a conspiracy, but it's not to buff Goons, but his Gevlon apparently is believing that there is a conspiracy within CCP selling ISK, which doesn't really make any sense. But that's Gevlon for you, so he's still around and he's still making random conspiracy theories.
But I mean, someone pointed this out. I think it was one of the economic guys that's just a random, like, high-sec economic guy. Like, Aerith levels of money-making, but doesn't do it. He just does it for his own gain, right? Doesn't help anyone. Just to say he could do it. He even said that the next step for CCP in terms of nerfing Goons would be nerf alliance sizes. That's the only way you're going to slow this down, because Goons are going to keep exponentially rising as more and more people join. They're just numbers. Doesn't matter how much you nerf something if there are just a sheer body.
Yeah, but that's not going to work effectively.
Right.
It's like the coalition and the kind of blue not blue donut that has actually formed from about the 9 o'clock position right the way around until about 5 o'clock. For the rest of EVE. It's like, it's there. I mean, and we've got an IT infrastructure and communication, which, seriously, I've worked for, like, quite large companies. They would be envious of the infrastructure that we have.
Right.
I just find it to be so... It's the same ham-handed sort of mistakes that are happening everywhere, and it puts the game at risk, I believe. Because, if you are a player in an alliance that's not in the Imperium, and you are seeing these nerfs that CCP is clearly intended to aim at the Imperium, and they are actually just screwing your gameplay over and not really impacting the Imperium, it just sucks. Like, they are making the lives of other people harder when they're trying to presumably go after us. And it's not necessary. Like, there are 2 members of Goons Forum's directory on the CSM. They could simply be adults and ask Aerith to explain in excruciating detail, which he has offered to do, why our economic system is the way it is. And it's not just mining. Like, that's the thing. It's like, it's this incredibly, like, layered system of we make money because of the way that we've figured out our jump bridge network is highly optimized. Like, we've got a whole defense system. We have really good systems to defend our work walls compared to the rest of the game. It's not just like the product of, hey, mining is happening, nerf mining, and this problem goes away. But from what I understand, like, I actually don't know, but I'm pretty sure that they haven't ever actually sat Aerith down and go, so can you please explain to us how Delve works? And he'd tell them, it's not like we have anything to lose. We don't want the game to be... Corins is pointing out here in chat, Corin's gimmick of Ariok is part of the finance team, and he's saying that mining actually makes us no ISK, relatively speaking, which is the hilarious part.
Yeah, it makes
it's true.
There's no taxes for it, right? You can't tax mining.
Yeah. Mining is not taxed,
which
it builds warships and creates supply.
It will be soon, though. Because if you look at the new moon changes, people mining those moons, it creates a log, which then can be taxed, but it requires a lot more effort. But then again, you're not going to see small groups benefiting from
moon mining, right?
Well, the moon mining will also have, like, ore. So now you can tax the ore from those moons. Like, more people are going to spend time moon mining, especially at Delve when there's, like, 6
Well, we're
billion
lazy,
moons.
and we're not going to tax that, right?
So... Oh, see, because we're awesome. There, see, boom. But anyway, we got to move on, because there's more comedy here. As much as we're mocking this report, it's going to happen every month. It's going to keep growing and growing, and the disparity is going to get even bigger.
As the economy turns. Okay.
But something hilarious happened. For those of you that don't know, Horde is a comical mess. They came out of the casino war with the largest alliance of all of them. They're gobbling people up. But they still don't do API keys. They have been asked for months and months internally going, hey, when are we going to fix this spy problem? Their most recent attempt literally was, we're not going to do API keys. We're just going to set red all the people that we consider spies. But because of CCP's game mechanics, they can only do like that to 100 people, and then they're up a shit creek, which is hilarious. But then this happens. So their combat, you know how we have all of our space and it's all freely unjammed, so our members can freely jump to any beacon anywhere. Well, Horde sinojams their whole space. So, StuffFox just goes, okay, if every one of your systems is sinojammed, let's just gate there. They gate 6 dreads through the heart of Horde space, unnoticed, for 30 minutes, and then put them in the face of a bunch of oracles and kill 7 oracles before help can arrive, because nobody could turn off the sinojammer.
And nobody said anything.
They literally gated past 3 keep stars to get there, and nobody said a word. They reported that StuffFox had docked the dreads in Lowsec 30 minutes prior, but didn't watch them gate 20 jumps through Horde space.
We'd never do anything like that, would we?
But the thing is like, an Ibis goes through Null, and the whole of Delve is aware. These guys gated 6 dreads through Horde space unnoticed.
You could have like a shuttle getting through Delve, and someone will set up a BFG trap for it, you know?
Exactly.
Wow.
This is hilarious. For those of you that want to read into this more, there's a link here. But other than that, that's the only thing that's funny.
The better part was the darkness dreads that showed up to save the Horde dudes.
Yeah. Darkness managed to get.
Jay, tell us what happened.
After the fight, they tried to extract the dreads by jumping them out to a midpoint, and one of them got caught in like a bubble or whatever. And Darkness jumped in like 10 dreads of their own and a T3 fleet to kill this one snuffbox. Naglfar.
Yeah, and then it was hilarious listening to the StuffBox guys talk about it. It was comedy. If you want to see it, there's a Reddit thread with more there. And then I want to hear what Moomin thinks about this. Provi just doesn't learn. They tried to drop a Keepstar a couple weeks ago. It died. So they go for the next biggest thing, which is a Satoyo. Satoyo's cost upwards of 60 billion if it fit right. And then it died. Because apparently telling Pandemic Legion, hi, we dropped the Satoya here, was going to go on. What do you think about this one, Moomin? I mean, is probably ever going to stop being shit or kicked by boots from every single person that plays the game?
Well, perhaps, but shall we just say with Provi, it's generally complicated? The other bit that just springs to mind, I'm not sure why I'm saying this, never stick your dick in crazy, either. That's probably another good life lesson.
Well,
that is...
The reason I bring this Satoyo up, and it's such a hilarious thing, is Pen of Smash is leading this war against Provi here, and Killer B is also involved, but Pen of Smash has been dropping his 200 billion-esque Revenant every fight. And just a couple days ago, he gets it tackled. And they used it as like a spawn trigger for enemies to bring battle cruiser fleets versus tracking dreadnoughts. And they killed like 300 to 400 battle cruisers that just kept lemming in at these dreads that were just sitting in siege, picking them off as they come in.
Wow.
And Pen of Smash is like, guys, I warped out after being tackled by 50 Dictors, and then turns around and comes back in and does it again, and still moonwalks out. Like, Test went up there, CO2 went up there, Provi was there, and he still lives. And it's just, it's so hilarious. It's been fun to watch. If you haven't been watching it, take a character into Provi sometime when you see PL around. It is fun to watch. So yeah, there's our dig at Pravi for today. I've been trying to recruit Jintan to come join us, but he still won't. He still thinks Pravi's the home to be in. I don't know, maybe Corns is in chat, you can tell us about this, but Plex prices are at 1.5 billion ISK for a 30-day subscription now. That's 500 Plex. They're about 3 mil a piece. That's insane. You might remember this, Mittens, because you're an old player like I am. Jay and Moon and I are relatively new. But I've been playing this game 10 years, and I remember back in the day, 90 days was like, what, 900 million or maybe even cheaper?
Right.
And now you have 1.5 billion for 30 days. Like, holy shit. I just don't even know. Like, where's this going?
Well, it's gone up. Yeah, I mean, partly stop being poor. It has gone up, like, massively. I've only been playing for 4 years, so thanks for bait shaming me there, Boat.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to.
But yeah, I mean, even in just like the few years that I've been playing, it has gone up considerably. Yeah, gonna see where it goes. I mean, it's like Ghost Training. It looks like CCP have been pulling some stuff out from there, so that might impact stuff at some point. Who knows?
Yeah, because this is interesting. If it keeps going, I don't know how high it could climb. Some people are saying 2 billion by year end. That's pretty expensive. I mean, back in the day, I could spend $1.5 billion and subscribe all 5 accounts, and now I'm at 10 bill for 5 accounts at the end of the day here, which is absolutely ridiculous. I can hear it, but I don't want to run over there and get it.
Phone.
But yeah, some people are. So someone just said in chat at 3% or almost 4% ISK faucet growth, that price doubles every 20 months for the price of Plex. That is ridiculous. So yeah, moving on. We're almost out of time.
The thing is with Plex is it's not, it used to be like what, $20 for a Plex, right? And now it's like $22.50 or whatever. So it costs more for the same amount of Plex.
Oh, it does. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's well, it used to be like I think it was like $20 for a Plex, and then now it's like $22.50 for 440 plus 60 free Plex, which is a comical marketing thing they've got going on, but yeah, it costs more for the Plex. It's just, I don't know.
So Jay, you're at this next talking point, and I'm curious what you think. So there was a fight that went down with FCON, where we used Typhoons and then 95 bombers. I don't know if you saw this. We live streamed it, Mittens, but
yep.
I threw a wave of 60 bombs at once. For those of us uneducated in bombing, the old max was 35. You could never do more than 35 because the bombs will blow each other up. And I threw 95 in the span of 5 seconds, and it was like, holy balls. For those that don't know, they changed the fleet size configurations. You can now have 256 people in one squad. You can also make 256 squads in a wing. So we were able to make squads of 9 and 10 per wing and just throw bombs, and it was so fun to watch. Just watching 90 bombs explode within the span of 3 seconds was like the greatest thing ever. And we almost killed unnuded Tengus, which for those that don't know, Tengus are almost impossible to bomb. They take like 100 bombs.
Yeah, it was, what, you were about 20 kilometers off, I think, tops on that.
Yeah, we were so close to actually killing the entire Tengu fleet without void bombs. So that was pretty cool. But what happened in this fight? Like, why were there like seconds before this fight started, Jay, there was a guy by the name of Captain Archer from Tri saying that they're no longer blue to FCON. Yeah, they're like no longer blue to FCON. And you had like Tess saying, yeah, we're just kind of neutral to FCON. Why are all these people showing up to help FCON if they're not blue to them?
Gotta value your pets, right? I mean, but it's funny. Like, try and make so much noise about how they're not blue to FCON or whatever, but they show up consistently for their timers. It's weird, and they claim to be third partying, but they're always helping FCON. So
yeah, we
I don't know, maybe they're not actually. Maybe they just haven't got stand-ins, but they're told their dudes not to shoot anyone.
For those unaware, we streamed it here at INN. You can go back and look at the video of it. This happened this week. The fight started off as Goons vs. Try. Then CO2 shows up. Then Test shows up. Projects Mayhem and Snuff came in a wormhole with initiative, and they came out to help the Goons. But then Try shows up, and then NC Dot even showed up at the end, so it ended up being like 5-on-1. It was hilarious.
It's funny that all these dudes came to help FCON. That's the best part. They all showed up before.
It was an FCON armor timer, so the second timer before Nazar. It was not even a big deal. FCON sino-jams the system to keep like a big fight from happening. But then as the fight's over, literally everyone's gone except for my bombers and a couple other blue fleets to FCON. They drop in supers and start killing like Try with super carriers.
Yeah. No. About 3 super carriers.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Their whole super fleet was 3.
Their whole super fleet.
I have more supers than FCON does.
Yeah, and then they dropped in like 30 carriers, and the whole point of them dropping them was to claim that Try was not third party, and according to Now Sammy, Try was their enemy in this fight. Which was great. Of course, Goons, we whelped pretty hard, but it was hilarious because it was the first time I think...
it's like you say that we whelped hard, but I seem to remember looking at the BR from that, and it was pretty even, realistically, from what I saw. And let's be honest about it, I think it was about 23 billion or so.
Oh, no, it wasn't bad. No, yeah, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I mean, which is like, nothing in the grand scheme of things. And a very small price to pay for the comedy value of watching these other people scurry around pretending to be blue, not blue, or whatever they're doing. So it was value for money.
It gets even better. I never once tried to bomb Test. The Test came in Feroxes. And Tests were all smug that they dodged the 90 bombers in system. And on the way home, Pandemic Horde pipe bombed them. Killed all the Feroxes.
Oops.
Do you remember the Reavers campaign a couple of years ago when PL would show up to third party with us? But they would always kill one member of our fleet just to make sure it was, there were neutral third parties. But they were helping us, but,
That's the same
we
thing
had a
that happened with
sacrificial
this
lamb.
fight.
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
And then, of course, to finish off our show today and to get to the end, I have a link courtesy of, I believe this was Tibrizzle, made this post. And he calls it hashtag Goon, hashtag Gert, hashtag Delve, hashtag ISBoxing Scum, hashtag Dank Yields Money Crew. And it's an image of, I think, Gara Sniper with 86 war goals.
It was Gara. Yeah, it was Gara.
And a lot of people had made the joke that Gara wasn't going to come back after he lost 40 to that Dread Bomb, and now he's got double. So,
just Delve things.
Yeah, just Delve things. Like CCP is like, yeah, we're gonna make it so these things don't spawn as often. It's just not gonna happen, and one guy is still producing more.
He's got it timed up. Like
again, then the boss is by 15% now.
Someone did the numbers on him alone. He makes 15 bill an hour, roughly. Just on his
timed up so that he can go take a nap or whatever, and when he wakes up, the belt will be respawned.
Do you mean he is the 1% of the 1% of the
1%? Yeah, apparently. I don't know.
Third round in EVE recently. God damn. Wow. Yup. All right. Well, it looks like we are at the end of the show. So thank everybody for coming, and thank you for helping with the sub noise audio fun times earlier. Thanks for sharing with us.
Joe Barbarian wants me to share this. Of course, Joe Barbarian. But Whelp Squad, we have a new squad in Goons, and I wanted to share this with you guys. Called Whelp Squad. They take a fleet out, it dies, it comes home, everyone has fun. They recently killed, with frigates, a carrier on a Horde Keepstar without losing a single frigate. For those
I remember
that
the
don't
first
know,
time you took a fleet to a
Keepstars
so well.
fly smart.
Yeah, I remember that. That was funny.
That wasn't funny. Fuck both of you. But yeah, that was something that he felt would be shared. Joe Barbarian does a good job with Whelp Squad. Whelp Squad are hilarious. For those who don't know, you can join different squads in Goons. So join Goons, join a squad, go have fun. There's a lot of fun in EVE. It's just our enemies don't seem to be having as much fun as we are right now.
That tends to be how it should be. We have Goblin Noxus coming up actually after the meta show. He's going to be streaming in the next time slot, so stay tuned. And Gobble's going to be streaming some hot EVE Online action. So
see, I didn't know that. That's awesome. High five.
You do.
Good.
Excellent.
I know.
So we will catch you all next week, and thank you for coming. Thanks for watching and supporting the channel. And Gobble is up next.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Yep. Thanks everyone. See you later.
I'm gay.
You are about to receive messages that may be harmful to your mental state. Your sense of reality will be questioned. Your view on things will be altered. You are now part of the Meta. The Meta controls everything. The Meta determines what will and will not happen. You are watching The Meta Show.